As for vehicle choice, I would recommend the technical or the bike. I wouldn't recommend the chopper because the chopper is way too easy to spot in the sky. It's good for but if the bodyguards arrive, they will likely shoot with their turret vehicles, so if you strategic with the helicopter, like arriving later than the vehicles, it might help, but I wouldn't recommend using it when I'm playing with randoms because you have less communication, so it's worth to use the chopper. But the bike and the technical are worth it in my opinion. Also, if you press down on the D-pad, I don't know the button for PC, you will bring the player list, and if you see more than 3 guys on the enemy team, then they likely will have 2 turreted vehicles coming your way, because the insurgent pickup is their best vehicle to use, this explosive, so that will be more of a threat. So keep an eye on the player list, how many players they have on their team, and calculate if they have more than 2 and they have 2-2, then they will have likely have 2 turret vehicles and will be likely more of a threat when they are alive. So keep an eye on the player list, it's very helpful to give an idea how difficult it will be in combat. Here you see the a flare coming in the air, and that is the target. The target is using a flare, and the target is the one that you need to take down in this game mode as a hit squad. So go straight to the location where the flare is fired and kill the target there. That's likely where the target is. Our team got straight to the target and managed to kill him. I used cover here to protect myself against the insurgent pickup gunfire because their turret is very powerful, but so is ours. So I use strategic cover to protect us from the gunfire because remember their vehicle is more armored than ours. Here my team was searching for the target in helicopter and Techno Aqua. Unfortunately the insurgent pickups were arrived. But they split up. They only had 2 drivers, no gunners, so that was a relief to have no threat, but because we had a helicopter we didn't have enough DPS to take one of them down, and eventually they found the target, and because we were chasing the one driver, it distracted us from getting the other driver. It was my fault that I didn't catch up fast enough because I slammed into the insurgent pickup, what didn't allow me to catch up, and my aim was also very terrible when chasing the target. So unfortunately they escaped because how bad the vehicle. And here you can see how bad the helicopter is. Even if you have 2 turrets on the sides, they don't do enough DPS to explode the insurgent. So there's an example why you don't want to use the helicopter, because it isn't really underwhelming how bad this vehicle is in this game. And because it's foggy, it does have front explosive, but that's removed in this vehicle for this game mode. So be aware that this helicopter doesn't have explosive cannon like it does in free mode. Don't underestimate the technical. The technical has a very powerful gun. Of course it's less armored, it will explode earlier than the insurgent. It will also explode in 1 explosive shot, so beware of RPGs and sticky bombs and grenades and that stuff. Here we got lucky, my gunner managed to kill both the gunners, so we really got lucky on this one. And we eventually found the target, and I recommend killing the target with sticky bomb. and explosives, because the target is as a modifier that he takes less damage. So explosives will stagger him and will manage to not able to let him fire back. So it's very effective method for taking down the target. Here we flanked their gunners because they are distracted by our team. So we managed to kill their gunner, which is huge because that will decrease their threat level. But unfortunately we got also flanked by their insurgents. So my gunner died unfortunately to that. I needed to escape. I used explosives to lower their health, which is huge because if my teammate use explosives to explode, they will likely explode after the next explosive because they already got damaged by my explosive. They actually shot my C4. I was in a car with my C4 just when I wanted to throw my C4 out. I'm actually surprised that nobody uses the shortcut. There's the alleyway where Franklin and Lamar and Trevor escape on the chess keys. That's that alleyway and Tink. And this will be way faster to go to the area where the target is, and this will likely save your matches so many times. Here I actually stumbled on the target and managed to kill him with my C4 spam. It was a huge thing I did. This just won us the match. In this game mode, if you always want to take the insurgent even if you don't have the gunner, the explosive resistance on this thing is insane. I mean, in free mode I think in free mode it's modified in this game mode that it takes less explosive, but it's still a very good vehicle in this game mode. Even if the explosive resistance is a bit reduced in this game mode. If all insurgents are already occupied, I would advise the bike then. I wouldn't advise the contender because that one will explode in one rocket or a sticky bomb. So I wouldn't advise the contender. Either choose the insurgent or the bike. One of those two. Also, the helicopter I already discussed in targets is even worse on bodyguards because they will see it coming. Maybe if you strategize that you come in later when the insurgents are arrived and clean the most turreted vehicles out, then maybe it's a good idea to take the helicopter and come in to search for the target. But in most cases, any case in that matter, you don't want to use the helicopter. Here's the example why you don't want to use the helicopter. Here I saw the target, we found him. The team saw him, so that's also good. Here I provided a bit of a shoot because I saw on the map that all the enemies are in that direction, so I made sure the target didn't receive any damage from that by blocking their line of sight. so that will help the target get safely into the vehicle before, you know, he gets killed. Here I took the bike. The reason why the bike is so good in this free mode is because you always off the radar for the enemy anyway. So the bike is a good vehicle to get around and not get spotted that easily because it's so small. It's harder to spot. So it will be it's a very good vehicle to use at unsuspecting targets. Unfortunately, the gunner was very accurate, but I managed to put their vehicle out of the fight, and they also lost 2 lives, so that's very good. Although this costed my life, it was definitely worth trade-off because they have no weaponized vehicle and they lost an additional 2 lives. It was totally acceptable to lose 2 lives for this. We found the target. I tried everything to protect the target, but it didn't matter. One hit squad member got a lucky shotgun shot on him, and that took out majority of his health. He was probably on low health anyway, so yeah. That was a bit unfortunate that we lost to that. When you open your phone, you have a new Trackify app to locate the target. I'm personally bad with coordinations, but if you practice this enough, you will eventually figure it out. And if you know the map well, you will eventually know all the coordinations and that kind of stuff. My tip is, if you are not good with coordination, is if they all are dark blue, that means you practically very next to the target. So if it's all dark blue, stand still, and the target will probably come after you. As a target, you want to play hide and seek, stay out of line of sight of the hit squad. Let the bodyguards do their work. If it gets hairy, I will give you the more tips in the next clip, because there was more chaotic than this one, because this is actually practically a 3v2. So yeah, you want to play hide and seek and let the bodyguards find you, and maybe go get close to the bodyguards if the squad is not in that area. Maybe one of them will use this trackfire app to find you. So if it's an insurgent, I would advise to just get in. If it's a bike, I would hold the vehicle enter button to throw them off the bike, because it's much safer to the target than the drive. Because if the driver managed to get killed by gunfire by the other players, then the target will ragdoll and will be vulnerable on the ground. So it's better to let the target drive the bike. It's much safer, because the target will tank majority of the shot, and even until he arrives at the destination. So that's maybe a good idea to do. Here I took a bit of a risk. I killed one of the hit squad members to support my team. This does notify the location that of the died member, so this will likely give out your position, so remember that. But in this situation, the other hit squad member already died, so gave me time to run away from the dead body, so I could be in a safe position, hidden where his squad won't see me. Here my bodyguards died, which isn't a big deal, because the hit squad only have both 1 lives. Every individual person has only 3 lives, so if you die 3 times you will be put in the spectator mode, because you will be dead forever. So keep in mind that if you die 3 times you will be put in spectator mode, and you are basically out of action for the rest of the match. Well, until the next round, I mean. once you're notified that you need to go to the evac point, that means that everybody in the lobby will now see your location. Once the bodyguards are close to you, you will be instructed to go to the evac point, and both the hit squad and the bodyguards will see the target's location. So be aware if you have this notification that you will likely get assaulted by the hit squad. I actually picked up a grenade from that squad guy and used it against the other hit squad member. Now all the hit squad members are out of the action. Everybody is now in spectator mode, which means that everybody lost 3 lives on their team. So this meant I could safely escort myself back to the base. Now this lobby was more chaotic because there were more people in the lobby. Now here I noticed my team member, one of my bodyguards, got off the bike, so I had a very good plan to take his bike, get close to him to get evac point's location, and then get the F out of here. So I will see you another day. The only time I will recommend using the flare gun if you're absolutely sure the hit squad can't see your flare. So make sure it's always out of the line sight of the flare, and so it is safe to fire it without getting spotted by the squad. Otherwise you will give away your location. If you're in the insurgent, the bodyguards will handle most of the work. If the gun is not occupied, you can use the gun. Or maybe your bodyguards died while using the gun, so you can take it over by holding right on the D-pad. I don't know the key for the PC users, but yeah, you can take over the gun if the bodyguards somehow manage to die in it. So yeah. You can use your pistol if you can't use the gun. So you can use your pistol to get some more DPS out on the enemies and help your team achieve the victory. Well, that was the end of the video. Thanks for watching.